Lacrosse, the new basics, conditioning, thinking lacrosse, an instructional youth lacrosse program for players and coaches. Kevin Sheehan. These are the new basics on how to teach the game, but many of you will find them the old basics on how to play the game. They're especially important because incorrect patterns are nearly impossible to correct. Yet habits that are instilled properly at a very young age will remain in place for a lifetime. Girls and boys, with no attempt to offend anyone, all of the drills and skills on this tape may be used in both the boys' and the girls' game. This tape attempts to bring to life a series of articles that have appeared in Lacrosse magazine on the new basics, stick mechanics and running, carrying with confidence, moving with the ball to get around defensive players by reacting to specific defensive checks in the appropriate way, finding space, the secret of the game, learning to be without the ball. Those articles include coaching world teams and 5-year-olds, steal this drill, and finding space. The new basics, stick mechanics, working the stick. Today's lacrosse is probably not the lacrosse you played if you played more than 5 years ago. The changes brought about by the Equipment International Lacrosse, the indoor game, and the increased athleticism and skill of the players have created a new game. This is a presentation that will ensure that you are prepared to play or coach that new game. A new vocabulary is needed to translate new ideas to the youngest players, and the best way to teach a player starting out is to describe the stick as his or her third ear. This will keep the stick always in an imaginary box around their head. Canadian throwing mechanics. I think it's time we teach players to let the stick do the work with a pull on the bottom hand rather than with a push on the top hand. The result will be more leverage, deception, and power. What will have to go is the baseball metaphor that we sometimes teach developing players with. We'll have to raise the stick and teach the players to use the stick for what it is, a lever. The tight stick. Catching is made much easier for the younger player by holding the stick in a position that finds his or her hands on the plastic and in the middle of the shaft. The ball can be caught on either side with the same motion that a goalie uses. This is also a power dodging position for when players later want to take on defensive players. The very best way I know to begin practice is in a form circle. Practice doesn't make perfect. Perfect practice does. Start with the third ear vertical cradle. Coaches should move about and help individual players. There's no sense sending them off to line drills with weak fundamentals. Once the cradle is in place, players can learn a tight stick. To learn a tight stick, place the bottom hand in the middle of the shaft, the top hand near the plastic. Players should mirror the coach, understanding that they can catch balls to the offside, low balls. No matter where the ball is thrown, they can catch, very similar to a goalie. Finally, work on throwing mechanics. Let players understand that it is a pull on the bottom hand, with the stick being a lever that makes the stick work. The stick will have to be held higher for this mechanism to work. Form passing. Your practice should begin with lines of players facing each other, each pair with a ball. At this time you can work on perfect form. And until perfect form is in place in a player, none of the other drills will really be meaningful. This is a good time to work on a magic hands, forced switch of hands, forcing catching and throwing in the offhand altogether, catching in space, throwing to where the player isn't, quick sticks, or one-handed pass. Four corners. Players must learn to pass and catch on the run. To do this, go to the four corners of the offensive box with a balanced number of players at each corner. Have them pass to the adjacent corner and replace to that corner. I know this is a longer pass than they normally have to make, but insist that they make it on the run and come to the ball. The improvement in your team will be dramatic. No other drill improved our team as much as did the four-corner passing drill. As players pass, they must come to the ball, but without a significant pull on the bottom hand, players will not be able to make the long distance pass. We found making this long pass made eventually making shorter passes much easier. As players progress, you can begin then to have players lead each other and pass over the shoulder. Shooting in the new era, super light sticks with instant pockets. If one area of lacrosse has changed in this new phase of the game, it's how hard people shoot the ball. More and more torque is applied by showing the goalie a number and coiling your back. More deception is added as the stick is hidden, and the result has been the velocity of shots has tripled. Notice as players gather in this form circle, they work on shooting. Shooting is different than passing in that players coil their back. Notice that the head of the stick is hidden from the goalie. Their hands are closer together. They twist and there's a push and a pull that is violent. The goalie game, developing goalies and shooters. We invented this game originally to find a goalie, but we found we also developed shooting confidence with both hands. Simply space a set of cones in a semicircle around the cage. Players move through the cones, shooting at each cone, including a turn in the goal. It looks something like this. The goalie game. A game to condition both shooting and goaltending. We start on the right side. Notice that we use a soft rubber ball. This eliminates fear on the part of the goaltender. As we move to the left side, we shoot with the left hand. We shoot up top and on goal line extended. After everyone has a shot, we rotate positions with a new goalie. In order to build fun into the game, we invented the following scoring system. If the goalie makes a save, it's worth 2 points. If the goal is missed because of the goaltending, it's worth 1 point. Of course, when the goal is scored, it's worth 0 points. In order to build some drama into the game, the goalie makes the save with a shaft, it's worth 3 points. Here's one. Running skills. Teaching players to run with power and purpose. Do kids come to you knowing how to run? Jamie Monroe, in his progressions tape, contends that much of our game is speed and power. But how much time as coaches do we devote to developing speed and power in our kids? Range of motion running may do more to develop your players' natural abilities than any of the stick drills you do afterward. Players must learn to include their entire leg in running. These high steps where the knee comes up to the belly button get the full range of motion of the leg. As players return, you're going to see a run we call a butt kicker, where players now are learning to dig in and kick themselves as they reach in and reach far back in the leg. The final run you'll see we call Deion Sanders, but I guess that's a little outdated. We now call them striders. In this run, the player runs stiff-legged all the way down, forcing the quadricep to drive the leg. The hope of all these running drills is that the full range of motion of the leg will be employed. The best power builder for young legs is the high step march. It's really a plyometric exercise. It'll take some coordination, but it will really develop power in your players' legs. The best way to coordinate a player's hands and feet is to run a cone drill. We run staggered cones, including what we call the fox and the hound, straight racing, no sticks. One player chases the other. If they catch him, they give him a piggyback ride back. We run split dodges on the cones where they go left to right with perfect form. We run roll dodges with the change of hands in the middle. And most importantly, we run defensive drop steps. Use cones to teach the split dodge. Notice the players first run without sticks. They chase one another from cone to cone. When we add a stick, we now coordinate the feet and hands. As players step, they push off with the leg and drive a magic hands across the cone. Although they won't get it at first, through running these throughout a season, you'll condition perfect split dodges. Probably the hardest dodge to condition is the roll dodge. The player puts a stick through their legs and then magic hands after the roll. As you see these beginning players develop, you'll notice a common mistake. Many players will change direction and change hands as they change direction. But an invisible stick through the legs followed by magic hands will remedy that. Through repetition and intensity, you will now see players learn to whip their leg, put the stick between their... Do not forget to condition defensive footwork. The drop step is one of the most difficult motions to condition in a young player. You can't tell someone to drop step. You must condition it. You have to work harder to make running fun than almost anything else you'll do in practice. We do this with races with $100,000 to the winner. Candy bar, not the money. We have our winners get piggyback rides from the losers. This often ends up in a laugh riot with both players rolling on the ground. In Saturday Night Live fashion, we have to bow to the winners, saying, "I am not worthy." But be careful, because speed can destroy form. And we often have form contests where the winner is not the fastest player, but the one with the best form. Be sure to limit running to 5 to 15 minutes of your practice at most. Carrying with confidence. Teaching players to play on both sides of their body. First, you must condition magic hands, and then dodges must be conditioned to specific checks through repetition and intensity of the drill. And finally, lacrosse land, the ultimate stick protection game. Magic hands. It's really important that you insist that players change hands as soon as they start playing the game. It's not that hard. It can be done with 5-year-olds calling the movement a magic trick and practicing it like a dance. The best way to condition magic hands is to put a ball in every stick and walk players through it. Pretty soon they'll develop a natural rhythm. You can add music and dancing for some fun. But without magic hands, players are restricted to only one side in which they can go around an opponent. Conditioning dodges. Players must be able to execute dodges instinctively without thinking. This can only be achieved, again, through repetition and intensity. You must condition dodges as reactions to specific defensive checks. The 4 dodges that will be covered will be the face dodge, or ear-to-ear, done when a player comes with a downward chop. Magic hands, or the split dodge, done with an open check chop. Invisible stick, or a roll dodge, when a player is played cross-handedly. And finally, lastly, the bull dodge, when a player is forced to drive through the opposing player. Line drills. Line drills must be done with intensity, with coaches supervising as a conditioning to these reactions. There must always be a coach in the middle. That coach in the middle should have fun and get into it and be competitive as he instills those dodges in his players. Use parents if you lack coaches. It's better if you have more than one coach in the middle so the dodge is repeated twice on the player's run. Players must learn to react rather than think. You need more balls as players get the hang of it. 1 ball is just too much waiting. Once you get 1 ball, go to 2, see if you can go to 3. Keep a ball next to the front man in line. If you're running the line drill with a pass and it's missed, you run after it. There's a built-in motivation. But the next player picks up the ball and the drill continues. You must have talk on line drills. If there's no talk, you have to find a convenient wall of knowledge, have players touch it, and they will automatically, instinctively, never forget to talk. Dodging is a reaction skill. Players must recognize the defensive actions and body position. The dodge they execute is in reaction to the check of the defenseman. Dodges must be conditioned and not taught. I think you'll see on these next few slides exactly what I mean. The face dodge is a reaction to a hatchet downward check by the coach. Notice that the harder the players check, the more quickly the players move their hands. Players that keep the stick more parallel to the ground will have more difficulty executing this dodge. Those players with a third-ear mechanism will be most successful. This final dodge is extremely tight and nearly perfect. Notice that the drill really gets moving as the coaches add more balls. Right? Not only do the players have to move, but the coaches have to move. No longer will players stay standing waiting their turn. Repetition and intensity will increase learning. The split dodge. Split dodge is a reaction to an open the gate check. This is the game's most effective dodge. Players go from strong hand to weak and back to strong again. The roll dodge is a counter to a cross-handed defensive action. Notice players roll away from pressure. As the player rolls, the magic hand switches and the stick is magically in the other hand. As the player rolls, he tries to put the stick as close as he can in between his legs, hiding the head of the stick. The last dodge we teach is the bull dodge. And the way to teach a bull dodge is to overcome the fear of the stick. We have found this is the way to build in confidence with the bull dodge. Start with a pool noodle. The fear of the stick is what usually paralyzes most developing players and experienced players. It's the reason they don't run through a stick. Insist that players go at your hands as you hold a pool noodle. As they build up their confidence, you can replace the pool noodle with a stick. If players are going to go one hand, have them lead with the elbow with the thumb at the ground. But with younger players, I really recommend. Notice as players accelerate through a pool noodle, there's no fear, there's no hesitation. They're able to build up maximum speed and drive right through the coach's hand, simply pulling back the stick and pulling back their head. We can see on this next slide that when we add a stick, the same abandon, the same reckless abandon driving through the stick is present. What's gone is the fear of the stick. One of the best games you can play is lacrosse land. Players learn stick protection as they move about in an area identified as lacrosse land by 4 cones. Stationed at each of the 4 cones are robbers who come in and freeze them by touching the head of the stick with their cross. Once they do, they are frozen. They can be unfrozen by a successful pass from a teammate. When everyone is frozen, the game is over. But it's not over. It'll be time for 4 more. It looks like chaos, but it's really fun. And lacrosse land is the best game you'll ever play for teaching stick protection. Here, all-world Gordon Purdy joins in a game. Notice as he follows Nick, Nick hangs his stick, and Gordon gets him. Watch Ryan Seelinger move his feet and his stick in his hands, avoiding Gordon and becoming safe in the game. Finally, Ryan is captured and the game is over. But it's not over. It's time for new robbers. Finding space, the secret of the game. Teaching players what to do without the finding space progression. Begin by teaching players not to ball chase through the discipline of 3-man weaves. Build on this a 3-on-2 cone drill to teach the ball back motions on defense and to teach finding space on offense. This will then lead into good guys, bad guys, a ground ball drill which will then apply these finding space concepts. With this foundation in place, you will now be able to move to fast break and eventually to a motion triangle in which players understand the 3-man weave drill is the best drill I know for teaching players to maintain space. Simply roll the ball in the middle on a traditional weave. When you add a pass to the 3-man weave drill, you have the best lacrosse talk drill you can have. Brian calls ball and scoops. On the far side, John calls help. As John comes to the middle and rolls the ball, Nick will call ball. The straight 3-on-3 passing drill is much more like a game than a drill. Notice as players maintain space and stay in their lanes, the middle player is able to direct traffic and find the open man. If you're really going to teach lacrosse effectively, you have to teach in progression. Players won't get multiple concepts on one drill. So you start with a concept in an isolation 3-on-2 cone drill. And as players master this drill of moving in space and playing the ball back positions, you move this into a simulation, as you'll see in the next few slides, like our good guys, bad guys ground ball drill. And finally, you're ready to now move into game-like simulations in which you attack the goal in a 3-on-2 or 2-on-1 type fast break. The 3-on-2 cone drills. Your players will not love these drills because they involve the real basic work that is the game. The defense must work as hard as the offense. This is a good time for you to work on throwing mechanics as well as tight stick catching. When players get the drill, remove the cones. Now they understand the game. The ball back drill. You notice that the offensive players must move adjacent to the ball. The cones help them find the open space. The defense, on the other hand, must say ball and back. It's the only way they'll maintain the rotation. You'll also notice that the drill is quite a conditioner. More game-like is good guys, bad guys. 3 good guys are identified as lines 1, 3, 5, and the 2 bad guys are lines 2 and 4. Unlike the 3-on-2 ball back drill, players will love this drill. It's combat. The drill begins after they pick up the ball. They now go into the 3-on-2 cone concept in a realistic, field-like situation. All 3 offensive players must touch the ball as the bad guys ride if they get the ball. It's not over till it's over, similar to the game. Notice when the drill becomes competitive in a 3-on-2 ground ball drill. Players not only fight for the ball, but as the offense gets the ball, Ryan finds space. Defense now calls ball and falls into the ball back position. Notice that players continually find space and maintain lanes. Take these drills to the game. Now that you have the finding space concepts in place, the 3-on-2 to a 2-on-1 basketball drill is the best drill in the game for teaching the shift from offense to defense and for simulating the unsettled aspect of the game. Use a multitude of fast break drills for applying the concepts both offensively and defensively to the game. Putting it all together, how might all of this translate to a youth practice? You might want to think about beginning your practice about 10 minutes early. If a practice was to begin at 4 o'clock, starting at about 3:50 as players arrive, 1 ball to 2 players, and work on form passing. By the time everyone is there should be 2 lines equidistant apart where you can be coaching perfect form. At 4:05 to 4:15 to get your practice off, I would start with running. You can run form running, you can run cones, you can run agility, you can use your own creativity. When players are tired from running, from 4:15 to 4:20, I do a form circle in which we go over the basics that they'll need for the entire practice, such as the third ear, throwing mechanics, magic hands, power shooting. 4:20 to 4:30 sees us do line drills. We stress these at the beginning of the year, and believe me, 10 minutes with 2 balls and multiple coaches, that's about all players can handle. But as the season moves on, we move to 4 corners, where the passes are really longer now and where players are expected to have perfect form. From 4:30 to 4:40 early season, we might do lacrosse land to teach players to have perfect stick protection. But as the year moves on, we would now move to finding space drills, such as the weaves or the 3-on-2 cone drills or the good guys, bad guys. From 4:40 to 5 o'clock, right out of our moving to space drills, we would go into some sort of fast break drill. From 5 to 5:30, we introduce our basic offense and defense, or go full field whenever possible. Whenever possible, players need to play at every practice. With this workout, you shouldn't need sprints if everyone has worked hard in these drills. You also shouldn't exceed 1.5 hours. That's plenty. Notice that each of the breakdowns are about 10 minutes, which is about 5 minutes longer than the attention span of most young players. Good luck, have fun, and use your own creativity. With special thanks on this tape to Jamie Shand and John Leinott, my 4th grade co-coaches these past 2 years, who have contributed immeasurably to creating the techniques that are featured in this presentation. and to the Massapequa Youth Lacrosse Association, MILACs, who have shared these drills with hundreds of players from 5 to 15 as they develop in the town of Massapequa. And finally, to these 9 and 10-year-olds without whom this program would never have happened, the players: Brian Coleman, Stephen Jahalka, Kyle Johnson, Jonathan Lynat, Ian Lukashevitz, Tim Maish, Jamie Shan, Ryan Seelinger, Dylan Sheehan, Nick Susko, and Patrick. With special thanks to Gordon Purdy, internationally renowned lacrosse player who has inspired a generation of players with his play and also with his character, and to his Checkmate Lacrosse Camp, which has served as the laboratory for the techniques featured in this presentation. And none of this could have been possible without the technical assistance of Suzanne Dwyer, who made this all possible, and Jamie Shan for the pictures that enlivened this report, and Sheldon Friedman for his videotape work. Thank you for your attention. You can contact me with any questions. Kevin Sheehan, 12 Euclid Avenue, Massapequa, New York, 11758. I can be reached through email at kevinshee@aol.com. Good luck.
By the goalie there to get out and get in back Johnson, so it will be their ball. And the All-American, Mark Kuntz from Upper Arlington, Ohio, is going to handle the ball. They got 2 guys from Upper Arlington, Ohio on the Virginia team. Uh-oh, that's a tough pass. Nice job again by 40. Nick Schmitz, the graduate student out of Rye, New York.
Risky play by the Cavaliers on the clear, backfires on Virginia, and Syracuse will take over. A lot of time left to go in this action between Syracuse and Virginia in the Dome today. Orange men, #1 team in the land, Virginia at #3. But the Cavaliers have really fallen apart since that 3-minute non-releasable illegal stick call against Connor Gill. Syracuse scored 3 goals on that man-up situation, and the Orangemen haven't trailed since.
Pat Hogan in 37. He's running 3 midfields, 4 midfields.
Tom Hardy has it on the near side.
Tom Hardy out of Tully.
Michael Powell in the ball game. Place catch with Sean Lindsay on the far side. Lindsay, Hogan, and Hardy in there. Hardy with it now. Bounce shot knocked down by the keeper Johnson. Still loose.
Ball still down. A little backhand pass by Powell.
Powell's got it. Unsettled situation. And he'll drop it behind the net. Syracuse looks for a reset. Chad Kennedy with it. Far side Kaufman. Syracuse owns this game. Orangemen have really controlled the action.
They're taking a lot of time off the clock, and these guys that are playing now are guys that are going to be future stars, and we're still in the 3rd quarter. Midfield, a lot of new midfielders. Pretty much same attack.
Kaufman gets whacked.
It's a whack and a half. Nice look.
Good pass by Powell.
Lost the angle.
Centering pass in front. Hogan lost the handle. Cavaliers finally look to get the ball out of there. Will Quayle with it.
Hogan, by the way, out of St. Louis, Missouri. So you're getting to see a geography lesson here as lacrosse kind of makes its presence known at the high school level throughout the United States. and they must be playing pretty well. Syracuse got some players from California and Illinois and Ohio.
We talked about Tom Maricek earlier. And, of course, the Gate brothers, Gary and Paul, from the Vancouver, British Columbia area.
Right.
Cavaliers finally stopped the bleeding, making it 9-4 Syracuse with the goal in front for Virginia. Chris Rotelli, and he's been their best player offensively in this game.
He has been spectacular. He's only a sophomore, who said, out of Rumford, Rhode Island, and he has pretty much been their offense. Connor Gill got the first one, and that was it. It's been Rotelli after that.
So we'll see if Virginia can build on that momentum. 9-4 Syracuse lead, 4.5 minutes to play in the third quarter. Whistle stops the action after the face-off.
Somebody left early, must have been a wingman for Syracuse.
So Virginia has the ball. See if the Cavaliers can build on momentum after the goal by Rotelli. Third of the game.
There's a lot of time left. I mean, there's a whole quarter and 4 minutes. So I certainly, you know what, in goals come in bunches. And you start getting face-offs, and the thing is, are they still into the game?
Sloppy play dropped by Virginia. There's Dan Stetson once again.
Coast to coast, Stetson.
This time he finds Mike Powell. That was the play of the game, that end-to-end rush by Stetson.
That was cute.
Crowd loved that. Syracuse out shooting Virginia 24-16. Spencer Wright has a touch out high, along with Brian Solidan, near side for Kaufman. Kaufman trying to get loose in front. Centering pass.
Good save.
That was Banks. Ball trickling free.
Still a shot.
Virginia takes over. Good feed by Kaufman.
Yeah.
Tillman Johnson makes an impressive save. 6'1" keeper, freshman from Annapolis, Maryland. 10 saves for him on the day. Flag down. May get a call against Syracuse here.
So second time Banks has hit him. See what happens. Watch this. Watch Banks. This is going to be interesting. So he's got the ball. He turns. He gets rid of it.
Number three in white. 1 minute.
You're right. Second time he's done that today.
Yeah. I think he took a little dive there when he hit him, but it definitely was from the back. And
John Deska talking with William Banks. An illegal body check. 1 minute penalty, man up situation for Virginia. This could be interesting. Cavaliers down 5. A little bit more spring in the step of Virginia on this offensive possession. Man up. Nearly thrown away. But reeled in by Virginia's Hanley Holcomb. Back for Rotelli. Cavaliers working around. To the weak side. Wide of the cage.
hey,
And Syracuse is there.
it's whoever's closest when the ball goes out, and he got the jump, and the ball went right out behind, and he was the closest to it. Good hustle by Mulligan.
So much for that man-up attempt.
Still 18 seconds left.
Virginia trying to put the pressure on. Syracuse looking to work the clear man down. Down toward 10 seconds to play in the man-up situation for the Cavaliers. And this one looks like it's going to be killed by the Orange men.
That's over according to the clock. But you've got big stick down there trying to get rid of it. Solomon Bliss stays on side.
Wright has it.
Failure to advance. They didn't get it in the attack area soon enough, so it's going to cost them possession.
Virginia takes it back with 1:56 left to play in the third quarter. Teams at even strength.
They're really...
Orange with an aggressive ride. Powell trying to take it away.
Trying to decide if he's onside. Good in the attack area. There he got it in.
Cavaliers trail by 5.
See what Connor Gill does. Glatzel's been on him. Glatzel's actually done a pretty good job on him.
You hold Virginia to 4 goals through 3 quarters. You're doing something right defensively.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
That is impressive.
They're just letting him, that's Mullen with the ball for Virginia. Just Syracuse playing good defense because they're not able to. This is the guy I'm waiting for him to make his jump here. I think he's got to be a little bit frustrated, Connor Gill. Syracuse getting the hand of the crowd there because they've done such a good job of playing defense.
Really frustrating Virginia's offense on this possession.
Yeah. Glatzel, nice job there on Gill.
Shot deflected. Rotelli took it. Abendroth was right with him.
Right, Abendroth has played a terrific game for one of the tri-captains here for Syracuse.
So the Cavaliers keep it with 34 seconds left to go in the quarter.
Captains Abendroth and Glatzel, and of course Mulligan.
Gill has it behind the cage. Glatzel on him.
Good coverage. Solomon Bliss, nice job of picking up Shannon. 14 seconds.
Gill found a man in front, Gladding, but he tried to shoot before he had the ball. Syracuse in transition. Final seconds of the quarter.
Take a shot. Shoot.
Crowd imploring.
Yeah, you can hear them all yelling, shoot.
Brett Walder to shoot. But he holds on, and Syracuse maintains the lead heading into the 4th and final quarter in the Carrier Dome. Robbie Mulligan getting congratulations all around. He's played well through 3. Syracuse has a 9-4 lead on Virginia. Back with the 4th quarter after this.
Hey, will you eat a stick of butter for a brine cyber? How about you? Put this sweaty gym sock in your mouth and we'll give you a cyber.
Sure.
Anyone want to eat a worm for a cyber?
Somebody's got to eat that.
Yeah. Anyone else?
Go for a mouthful, go for the fun. Go for cake for everyone. Just one stock is what it takes, and it's Gopher cakes. Open wide, stuff your face. There's always room for more Gopher cakes. Empty the box, every load. Eat those Gopher cakes till you explode.
Exercised lately?
Till you explode.
Back inside the Carrier Dome. 15 minutes on the 4th quarter clock. A 9-4 Syracuse lead on the Virginia Cavaliers. And this, Dale, is the last score by Virginia, and that really stopped the bleeding as the Orangemen had built up a 9-3 lead.
You're right, Dave. They really need to get back in this, and they got a goal there. Mulligan a little upset with himself, but they got a good look, and they took the shot. This is a high face-off. He coughing up with it? Yes, he does. They're very aggressive defensively now because they can't afford to just play kind of a passive defense and, guard against the goal. They've got to make something happen. They've got to get the ball, put it on the ground, and get their offense going.
Very quiet day offensively for Virginia. 2-1-1 through 3. Syracuse a 5-goal explosion in the 2nd quarter. 3 of those goals coming at the start of the quarter after a 3-minute non-releasable penalty call against Connor Gill of Virginia for an illegal stick. That's been the difference in the game. Really gave the Orangemen momentum. Syracuse hasn't trailed since.
Liam's got to be a little frustrated. Of course, he's a marked man after scoring 6 goals in that Princeton game. He just they're not going to let him kind of hide, and I'm sure it's frustrating, but he's doing his job. Oh, nice shot.
Put home by the Orange's Spencer Wright. 10-4 Syracuse, and really no time for Johnson to react to that laser from Wright. 6'3", 203, hometown, San Diego. So he left San Diego to come to Syracuse?
Well, he likes the weather here.
He must love lacrosse.
Spencer Wright, 6'3" junior.
Second goal for Wright. 10-4 Orange men. This one is starting to slip away from Virginia. Tough battle for the faceoff at midfield.
Searcy got it out. I don't know how he did that, but he got it out between his legs. And they got the ball back. Nice job. Nice faceoff by Searcy. They were both...
Looked like a hen laying an egg.
Yeah.
That was quite a battle for the faceoff, though. David Jenkins representing Virginia.
He's been doing a good job. The faceoff's pretty even. But coming in, they said Jenkins was good.
Tom Hardy controls for the Orange men. Also in the game, John Burns, number 26. Junior midi from Fayetteville Manlius High School. Powell has it. Trying to lose his man, and he does. And he scores. 11-4 Orange men. Outstanding individual effort by Powell and the celebration. Casey and Ryan would be very proud.
There's also a flag down. I don't know what it is.
After the play, maybe?
Look at the back and forth here. He's on Hughes, back, left, and then just goes right. Nice job.
Wright beat Johnson to that side as well.
Here he comes again. There it is. Good looking replay. There was a penalty down. I don't know what the call is.
Still waiting for the official explanation of that call.
It looks like everybody's there. Maybe it was wiped out by the goal. Maybe it was a technical. I don't know.
2-1 for Michael Powell, freshman from Carthage.
You know, I met Mrs. Powell. Did I ever tell you that? What a nice lady she is. Yep. Very unassuming and very outgoing. She was at a function for a benefit for a kid who has cancer, and she was there, and I talked to her, and very nice lady.
Speaking of Mrs. Powell,
yeah,
two of her sons, previous stars for Syracuse, the legacy of number 22 on the SU Hill. These are the freshman seasons of these players. Gary Gay, 25-4. Charlie Lockwood in 91 had a fine freshman campaign as well. Casey Powell had a great freshman year.
Yep.
And Ryan Powell's freshman season was solid as well. All four of those great Syracuse players were the number 22 for head coach Roy Simmons Jr. And now, Michael Powell, number 22 for head coach John Desko. You may have been able to catch that as it was announced by public address announcer Don Famelo. Excessive celebration on the part of Michael Powell.
Yeah, you saw they slapped 5. They don't want the... Well, you know, they don't want it to be like the NFL. They don't want it to be like... I should say the XFL, maybe. Oh.
That bounce shot finds the back of the net. Kind of a fluke goal, maybe, for Virginia. As Ferrone just put it on net, hoping it would go in, and it did.
People still booing on the... They're going to release him. This is funny.
This is a man-up goal.
Ball out. Yeah, he just knocked it. It was knocked down, and he just turned and fired. Of course, nobody was in the right spot because they didn't expect that was going to happen. So Ferrone, in the right spot at the right time, brings him up to 11-5.
You feel secure yet?
Not really.
Me neither.
No.
A lot of time left to go.
Not a time. Let's see what Searcy does with this. Nice shot there. You can see how that... Well, that's with holding the ball there, isn't it? I think it is.
It is. Syracuse ball. Jenkins doesn't agree. Senior from Dedham, Massachusetts. Those Boston guys always looking for the edge. Virginia's still a man up for 20 more seconds after that excessive celebration penalty against Mike Powell.
in the corner here, Liam.
Gotta get it away. Try to split the defenders, but we have whistles.
Timeout.
Yes, timeout, Syracuse. 8 seconds left on the man up for Virginia. Quick timeout called by the Orange bench. Head coach John Desco. Hey, John Zolberti's back.
Yeah.
Volunteer assistant for the Orange men. Former West Genesee star, and of course, had an outstanding career for Syracuse playing with the Gates.
Very personable guy. I remember one time he came in when the coach was asking where he was for a game, and he said he got a chance to play 18 holes, and he had 7 points that game. I think he had 4 goals and 3 assists. Coach Simmons said, "That's the way he is." There's John Zolberti.
Used to wear number 11.
Yeah, and he had the orange sneakers and high white socks.
He was always behind the net, too.
Yeah, always.
Looking to set his teammates up.
Yep. Yeah, he was quite a guy for Syracuse, and it's nice to see him back in coaching.
We'll take a look now at the last goal scored by Michael Powell, giving Syracuse an 11-5 lead.
Took him left, brought him back, took him back right, and then brings him back left. And you know what? You need help there. That's why you have slides, because you say, you know, look, I'm 6'2", 200 pounds, and I got this guy running me back and forth. I might need some help, but that's also why he is so good. Mike Powell, 5'10", 153, 3 points in his dome opener here. Nope, they played against, I shouldn't say that. Forgot they played Colgate.
Now, you mentioned that he was able to slide around Hughes. He didn't get a whole lot of help on that play.
Yeah.
Hughes, a bigger guy, 6'2", 204, so he's got 4 inches and quite a few pounds on Powell. 44 pounds. So Powell using his quickness to spring himself free for a shot on goal and a tally. Great crowd on hand here in the Dome today. Just a few people shy of 10,500.
It's a great crowd. Oh, shooting before he had the ball. John Burns, out of Table Manly's high school, was primed up and ready to unload.
Trying to make the most of his opportunity to get on the turf in this matchup against the third-ranked Virginia Cavaliers. Syracuse up by 6. Number 1 ranked Orange men. Next in action on March 12th, down in Florida. Syracuse's annual trip. The Orange men will take on Fairfield. Then back home in the Dome, March 17th for a St. Patrick's Day matchup, the Johns Hopkins Blue Jays. Break out the green blazer for that one, Dave.
Yeah, right. Yeah, okay. You got it.
Looking forward to the rap party that night after the telecast. Mark Ballard and company, I'm sure, all feel the same.
Nice play by Glatzel. Got his stick up on it. Good defense. He has played a terrific game on number 14. Connor Gill has not, watch me jinx him. No, he got a stick on that. That's a high fly out in left field. Nice job by Bliss, but can he get back in time? They run him off.
Desperation time for Virginia. Flag comes down.
Give him a hold.
2 flags down now. Shot right on net. Stopped by Mulligan.
They give him a hold. Watch it. I'm guessing.
Still plenty of time for Virginia to make a run. But they have really got to start getting it going offensively now.
Now they gave him a 30-second there on the graduate student, Nick Schmitz.
32nd man up for Virginia. They've got to score here. 32nd man up, down 11-5, 10:20 to play. Got to get it going.
I'd keep my eye on Rotelli if I was Syracuse, number 25.
He's hanging around out high, top of the box, all alone.
Syracuse chasing hard there on the ball.
Rotelli's by himself. He gets the pass.
Ooh. Good man down so far. Terrific job.
Excellent
That
play.
was great.
Your man Abendroth with that interception. Costly mistake by Virginia. Teams at even strength. Unsettled situation.
Glatzel up with it.
Glatzel trying to keep it away from the Virginia attack man. Flag down. And it looks like the call will go against Virginia. Looks like Gill was involved there with Glatzel. Holding call.
That's what it was.
Against Gill.
Yep.
32nd man up, coming up for Syracuse. Connor Gill.
Just going to say, he's only a junior, and not having I mean, he doesn't need a breakout game. He is a terrific player, but he has not had a good game up here at Syracuse. I'm sure that when this one's over, he's going to kind of examine and see what happened.
Syracuse 5 of 8 on the man up. And 3 of those goals came when Gill was in the penalty box. 3-minute non-releasable penalty to start the second quarter, after Gill was found to have been using an illegal stick. So certainly a forgettable game for Gill.
Well, at least to this point, and you know what, you got to give number 18 from Syracuse credit. He's pretty much, John Glatzel's been pretty much on him one-on-one. Now they're going to get another penalty here. Syracuse for hitting the goalie. I think that's the 3rd time they hit the goalie and they've been penalized for it.
Banks got him twice.
Yeah, Banks got him twice, and now Knee's going to get him.
5 in white.
He's shaking his head. We may have to go to the videotape. 1 minute unnecessary roughness on Knee.
Yeah.
You know, in the first half, they let both teams play. The officials down on the field.
I don't think they want him to lose their composure. You know, I mean, it's just kind of like, it really wasn't necessary. There's no, you know, even if it wasn't all that hard, it wasn't all that necessary either. So I can understand what the officials are doing. Of course, you don't know what's going on down the field either. You don't know what people have been saying back and forth, which sometimes happens. And
Cavaliers trying to capitalize on the man-up situation.
Well, they just robbed. They just took that right out of Gill's stick.
Outstanding play by Glatzel. Another flag coming down at midfield. The officials, referee Terry Cullen, umpire Steve Miller, field judge Terry McNabb, Joe Mars, bench official, really getting into the action now.
Illegal check there by 24, Virginia.
Cavaliers have got to be getting frustrated at this point of the game. Only 5 goals to show for their efforts this afternoon against a very talented Syracuse defense led by the keeper, Robbie Mulligan. He made some great saves. Glatzel has been outstanding. Abendroth has been great. Bliss has played well defensively as well. Don't want to leave anybody out.
Just checking what they said about Rotelli. He's got a lot of raw talent. This is from the Virginia book. I guess he's kind of modified it and channeled it today. He's been the real offensive spark for Virginia.
Springer with the goal to give Syracuse a 12-5 lead with 1 second left. On a man-up situation, Virginia also with a man-up as well, so really an even strength goal.
Syracuse goal. They're getting, this is interesting, they're getting people in and out of this game. Donahue trying to get people in and out. Coach Donahue getting them on the wing. Let's see. There's a left-handed shot. Beats them. Now they've got people the way they want. They've got Kunis, number 30, in on the wing with a big stick.
Springer with the 3rd of Syracuse's goals.
That was interesting. They went stick to stick there, Jenkins, and they took off with it, and Searcy ended up getting it.
Banks with it now, as Searcy will come on.
They got Banks with the ball. They're having a little trouble getting people in there. Now he gets rid of it.
Midway through the fourth quarter, Syracuse up 7 on Virginia. Soliday getting pushed out, absorbing a couple of stick swipes by Trey Whitty, trying to knock it away. Soliday's had a quiet day. Let's see what he can do. Lost the handle. Syracuse keeps it though. Centering pass in front, intended for Springer. Deflected out high. White keeps it in.
Doesn't get much closer than this in penalties. 7 for 8 with Virginia, 8 for 7.5 for Syracuse.
A lot of flags in the second half.
They've had 3 penalties on the goal. I mean, against the goalie. Syracuse has had hit him a couple of times, 3 times actually. So 3 of those penalties were kind of.
Freshman Tillman Johnson will remember his first start against the Syracuse Orangemen. Probably the first of many for him. Soliday has it taken away from behind. Banks will back it up though. And Syracuse will keep it.
Soliday pushing a little bit, I think. He hung his stick right there, and Virginia defender put it down on the ground, and he couldn't make the shot. A little bit frustrated, I think. He's going to go out on top, one-on-one. That's kind of a blind pass.
Great ball movement by Syracuse on that possession. Right with the goal. Hat trick for him. Syracuse has a 13-5 lead on Virginia. Kind of like the show game there.
Yeah, that was kind of a blind pass, and then they got it back into number 6's hand, Spencer Wright. Pass, jump shot.
Fourth assist for Mike Powell on that goal. And the hat trick for Wright, leading the way along with Springer, who has 4 goals.
Procedure, so it's going to be another one. Searcy's picking them up now out of penalties. I'm looking at Spencer Wright. He was the California MVP of the state championship game. I can believe that. And I didn't know they played that many places, played lacrosse in California, but they found him.
Says a lot about Syracuse University and, of course, the lacrosse program. To get a guy that talented, could go anywhere in the country he wanted to go.
Right.
And he decided to leave San Diego to come to Syracuse.
You said it was for the weather, Ted, I'm sure.
Maybe he had never seen snow before.
Look, the sun's out. People are looking outside saying, what is that?
I'm sure he's tired of the snow already. But it speaks volumes when you get a kid like that to come 3,000 miles to your school.
Who better to play for than John Dusky and Donahue and the whole coaching staff here?
Flags down that last play.
2 down, actually.
Shot went wide. 5:22 left to go in the fourth quarter, and it looks very much like the Orangemen will start the 2001 campaign 2-0. They'll maintain their #1 ranking. The officials are trying to maintain control of this game as we head down the stretch here in the fourth quarter. Very frustrating afternoon for head coach Dom Starship of the Cavaliers. 2-minute penalty against Mark Coons for a cross-check. It's been that kind of day for the Cavaliers.
Yeah, they gave 2 penalties. You know, actually, any personal foul would be from 1 to 3 minutes if you read the rule book, but you very seldom see it. And they actually didn't do it there. It was actually 2 separate penalties for a minute apiece. But you could. If you said that's a slash and a half, you could give them a minute and a half, I guess.
Preseason first-team All-American.
Deflected.
Coffin with the shot. Whistle stops play. Springer wanted a 5th goal.
Yeah.
He was working hard for that.
Yeah, it's been working hard.
Smacking the stick of Tillman Johnson.
See what they did. It's probably an interference call. Oh, there's a shot, ball down. No, you can't touch that. When it comes up, they called interference.
Head coach John Desko is done a fantastic job succeeding the legendary Roy Simmons Jr. Led the Orange Men to the national championship in 2000.
You know, there's a little kids league in lacrosse. And I was out to my son plays, and I'm out, and Kevin Donahue was coaching the team, and Coach Desco was there. Their kids play was out working with the people in the community coaching lacrosse. They got a good name out there.
These guys really have a love for the game.
Yes, they do.
A lot of young kids in the area play lacrosse. Some tremendous high school programs in central New York. Of course, well documented over the years, and a lot of those star players have gone on to become stars at Syracuse.
You know, it used to be just the West Genesee connection. Of course, one of the best teams in the country, but you still get West Genesee, but you get, like you said, people from Tully, Fayetteville, Manlius, Cortland, Homer, all over. And obviously Carthage.
Matt Powell, was he a JV kid?
Yeah, I recall. Yeah.
Jamesville, the Whitney represented.
Sure. Well, they've had a number of players in JD over the years.
A long afternoon continues for head coach Dom Starsia. Bobby Mulligan gets it away to Bill Parrott, #1 for the Orange Men this season. #1 in your program, #1 in your hearts. Bill Parrott, sophomore from Holtzville, New York. Syracuse in white. In case you're just joining us, Cavaliers in their road orange. Syracuse up 13-5 on Virginia. Final minutes of the game.
And you know when they play Virginia later, if they do, or Virginia's going to get tougher and tougher as this year goes on. This is a tough place to open. They did have you know, a game under their belt, but this is a team that's going to improve greatly as the year goes on.
Big difference between March and May.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the Cavaliers will try to use this loss as a building block, and they may see the Orange Men again down the road in the NCAA tournament. These two teams met in the national championship game in 1999. Virginia won 12-10 over the Orange Men. We mentioned before the game started, 7 of the last 10 games in the series decided by 2 goals or less, and that will not be the case today. Syracuse leads 13-5. The Orange Men dominating this game throughout.
Januszkiewicz there playing defense on Holcomb. Connor Gill with Glatzel. This has been a nice matchup. Glatzel's been
Glatzel really teeing off on him that trip. Play backed up by the Cavaliers. And Virginia keeps him in the offensive end.
Largest margin of victory since 1995, we are told, of Syracuse over Virginia. And it's been a battle ever since.
So in hindsight, that 3-minute penalty against Gill to start the second quarter, non-releasable call for an illegal stick. Syracuse scored 3 times on that man-up situation. And the Orange Men have owned the game since then. Virginia led at the end of the first quarter 2-1. And that was the turning point of the game, that 3-minute call against Gill.
You know, and this is not to downplay that, but you know what, that happens. I don't mean that, you know, stick checks happen, but you know what, you have to just bounce back from that.
Right.
You know, you just have to say, okay, they got that many goals, but we've got other opportunities. But they've really done, Glatzel's done a great job on Gill. He just has done a great job.
Syracuse known over the years as an offensive team. Tremendous firepower and some great players we talked about during the telecast today, but really it's the defense of the Orange Men today that has done a great job against Virginia.
They really have. And you know, 2 of the 5 goals they gave up were, you know, like rebound, you know, somebody dropped the ball. That was not an offensive show by Virginia. It was just one of those things that happens. Okay, under 2 minutes in the game, you got to get it in, and then you can't go back out of that box.
Fans applauding here in the Carrier Dome. Less than 2 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. And Syracuse with an impressive 8-goal lead on Virginia. Alex Mumolo, sophomore from Sudbury, Massachusetts, replacing Robbie Mulligan between the pipes for the Orangemen. So Mulligan gets to spend the final minute and a half or so on the bench, relaxing. We didn't think that would happen before this game started, right?
You
Against
did not.
Virginia?
No. You know, it's interesting. You remember Bill Durgel from Syracuse?
Yes.
He's coaching at Rutgers, so he will be bringing a Rutgers team in here. That'll be interesting to see. Number 4 in with that one, the Mullen.
Beating the new keeper for the Orangemen, Alex Mumolo. 13-6 Syracuse, and we'll see the last goal by Mullen one more time.
Mullen just gets the feed. Just a direct shot at the left-handed goalie, Mumolo.
I remember Durgel was a terrific face-off
Yeah.
on those great Syracuse teams in the 80s.
Yep.
The Gates, John Zilberti.
Well, he's got his work cut out for him at Rutgers.
Final minute of the game. The Orangemen will maintain their number 1 ranking and move to 2-0. The Cavaliers will fall to 1-1. And these two teams may meet again in the postseason. Defender for Virginia, Mark Kuntz with the goal. 13-7. Syracuse with a 6-goal lead. Really, the game wasn't all that close.
No.
It was not a 6-goal game. Now he comes in pretty much untouched.
Yeah, well, you know, you got all sorts of people there, and it's a tough one to stop with that big stick.
Token pressure applied by the Syracuse defense. But the Orangemen will put this one in the win column in another 35 seconds or so. Whistle stops play. Flag is down. Joe Russell is in on that play.
Yeah.
Pat Kennedy in there as well.
4-2 in white, 1 illegal check.
And the call is against Pat Kennedy. Another big attack man.
Yeah.
6'3", 204.
I know. We were talking about that. I said, these guys are getting bigger and bigger in the attack end.
I think we have a new record here on Super Sports. Most illegal body check calls in a single game.
They left 3 on with a goalie.
Final few seconds of the fourth quarter winding down. Can Virginia get one more to make it look a little bit more respectable? They're trying. Ball tapped away from behind. Whistle stops play as I think a fan tossed a Super Ball onto the field. Lean bouncing ball.
Smart.
Tossed back up into the stands. Get that out of here.
Yeah. There you go. Just walk off the last couple of...
So the Syracuse Orangemen hold on for a 13-7 win over the Virginia Cavaliers. Great game by Michael Springer. Unstoppable force in the slot. 4 goals on the day. 6'4", 210 pounds. Springer has another great game for the Orangemen and head coach John Desko. Syracuse will remain number 1. The Orangemen 2-0. Cavaliers fall to 1-1. And really, Dale, not one of the great Syracuse-Virginia matchups.
No, not really. You know, a little sloppy, some bursts here and there, but Syracuse settled down, played great defense, and got the goals when they needed to.
So the Orangemen improved to 2-0. And the next time we will see you here in the Carrier Dome, it should be a terrific matchup between the Orangemen and the Johns Hopkins Blue Jays. You will be able to see all the action right here on Time Warner 13 as that great rivalry between Syracuse and Johns Hopkins is renewed. For our entire crew here in the Carrier Dome, our producer, director Mark Ballard, of course for Dale Drypulcher, I'm Ted DeLuca. We thank you so much for joining us for Syracuse Lacrosse today in the Carrier Dome. We're right here on Time Warner 13.
The only place to see Syracuse Crunch Hockey live is on Time Warner 13.
For decades, Syracuse lacrosse has been among the nation's best, and Campfire Boys and Girls has been building caring, confident youth and future leaders through educational programs. I'm John Desko, SU men's lacrosse coach, asking you to be part of the winning team by supporting the Campfire Give a Kid a Goal program. Make a pledge to donate based on the number of goals the SU men's lacrosse team scores this season. Make your pledge by calling 463-8799. Together, we'll make every goal count.
This is the story about a group of kids who volunteered.
Do something nice for someone. We fixed stuff. Did some art projects with the kids. Cleaned up the park. Did something for the planet.
And you know what? It was great.
At first, they didn't know each other.
Well, that didn't last long. These are my
New friends. Are you into it?
Call 4-H or check out our website at areyouintoit.com.
You're watching Time Warner 13.